and for me to be gone. you know,
Do you guys think that's a thing that has just gotten better over time with the league? Because like between you and like what LeBron just does year in year out, where it's the guy is it's every year it just sort of gets more amazing the level that he's playing at.
I think for me, and it's funny, like when you talk about Bron or see Bron, like I mean, obviously I don't listen to the talking heads or nothing like that, but they be like, "Oh, he's going to be this year," and I be like, "Y'all just some dummies. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know." They be like, "Wow, he dunked." I be like, "Yeah, man, going to do this." Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not surprised by it because I know how he trains. I know his discipline. I know, you know what I mean? Like that, all that stuff y'all seeing, it ain't going away no time soon. But everybody can stop starting off the year like, is this the year he's going to such and such? Y'all got a long time before that because once you find, what works and what and it's a discipline about it too. It's a competitiveness. All that goes into it. You know what I mean? It's like some vanity to it too. You know what I mean, Bugs? Like, listen, JJ is in his Pilates class every Tuesday and Thursday because JJ likes the way his abs. Okay?
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Right? Yes. But there's once you find something, you know what I mean, that works, and that, getting a little older or whatnot, it doesn't matter, then yeah, Bron ain't slowing down no time soon. So everybody be cool.
You bring up a great point, by the way, and for someone who's highly motivated, for someone who is disciplined, once you know and you have the right tools, you can do this a long time. You can do this a long time. You can sort of defy the odds. And basically, you are sort of an anomaly. Now, there's been previous examples. Nash made an all-star team in his year 37. Stockton played at a high level. But there's really not many smaller point guards that have played at an all-NBA level into their mid to late 30s. You're doing something that's ahistorical.
Listen, Bubs, I'm gonna tell you. Like, it feel like they're gonna have to edit out the whole show, but let me. I got stories because I don't be believing this stuff, but I gotta tell you this other story right here, Bubs. I'm sorry, Tommy. Like, we're like really friends.
No, this is what we got to do. But one thing, Chris, we need more embarrassing stories about him at a certain point. So after you tell this one, you got to trade off one-on-one.
But me and JJ don't get a chance to, like, that's why, like, when they like, are you going, hell yeah, I'm going to do this anytime. I'll come once a week because I love to talk to him, right? And we just talk about everything. So I always want to show Sam Presti them in a great light because he's unbelievable. So I'm going to tell you this. I don't think it puts him in a bad light, but it's going to sort of describe who I am. Trade happens. I go to Oklahoma City, right? They all fly out to LA, right? Billy Donovan, Sam Presti, training staff, everybody flies out to LA. We meet at CAA. So sitting in there with him, with my brother and everybody. Well, I'm a totally different person probably than I was in Houston because I just got a whole different confidence about me because of my body, right? Like, so I know what I can do basketball-wise. Like, I know. Like, I used to move a little gingerly because I didn't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I literally used to go into games and, like, I always say a prayer before the games, and part of my prayer was like, please don't. You know what I mean? Please don't.
Not tonight.
Yeah, seriously. And so, like, the freedom to just play and move, right? Unbelievable feeling. So, obviously, I'm on my training thing. So, when the trade happened for me to go to OKC, I was at Peach Jam in Augusta. And when the trade happened, I was only mad because I knew the family wasn't going to be able to go and it was last minute. But I already knew I was a different person, right? So, my swag is up, right? All right, I'm going there. Cool. They fly out to meet with me. Sitting in the CAA office, they bring up a slideshow and all this stuff, right? You know the worst thing you can do with me, Bubs? What's the worst thing you can do with me?
There's a lot of worse things you can do with you.
Compare me to somebody else. Do not compare me.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Boom, up on the screen. This is what Jason Kidd did at the age of 35, 34. This is what Steve Nash did. This is what such and such did. So we would like you to play, around like, let's play you around like 60 games, 50. I'm listening. I'm listening, but I'm sitting there boiling, right? I'm going to let y'all finish y'all presentation. Right. They finished their presentation. I said, listen, I know y'all don't know me well, and we got to get to know each other or whatnot. And I know what my past history might have said about this, and this, but I'm not sitting no games if I feel fine. I'm not. I'm not going to do that because I know what it's like to be injured, right? And so when you can't play because you can't play, then to each his own. Look, I ain't gonna knock nobody for load management, all this different type stuff, because my thing is, and JP, I talked to JP last night. Peasy is my man all day long. But, like those coaches or teams that be like, he can only go about 32 minutes. He can only go about 35 minutes. So, me, I'd be like, okay, well, what I need to do to be able to go 48 minutes? That's the way my brain works. Like, what says that I can only go this amount of time?
the reality is, I think that the place you put your body in sets you up to have the season that you did. My question in regards to the season is, I know you have confidence, and people may not realize this about CP, Tommy. CP is actually one of the most optimistic people I've ever been around. He's able to paint any situation with a bright brush. It's remarkable. Everything becomes a positive. That's just the way his brain works.
If I can say it.
Yeah, but look, I know, like, you got traded last year. We're the same agency. Like, you got traded last year. You didn't know what was going to happen in OKC.
Right.
To go there, to be healthy. Let's take out the COVID and the break and all the bullshit. We're going to talk about that in a second. But to go there and get second team All NBA and lead that team to the 5th seed, nearly take out the Rockets in the first round, I would imagine that's probably at the highest level of expectation you could ever muster going back to last summer. I mean, that was unexpected across the board for the league. Now, maybe you thought that was all possible, but
yeah, but I really am wired different. Like, as long as I'm on the court, you know what I mean? I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? I just don't care who it is. And once I got to OKC and I seen the guys, like, okay, Dennis, all right, he's a problem. Like, Dennis Schroeder is a problem. Shea was already nice, right? Then we had Gallo, who was just a consummate vet. Like, I'm serious. Like, everybody be like, oh, y'all didn't think y'all was going to do this, man. Yeah, we did. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we did. And that Houston series, that whole, like, man, y'all took them. Man, nobody trying to hear that shit. Like,
I knew that was going to piss him off. Right. Tommy, I knew that was going to piss him off.
Right. Like, it just, I don't know, man. It's a game, right? It's like, if you're going to play Connect 4, you're going to play whatever, you know what I mean? As long as you only got 5 guys on the court. You got 7, we might be in trouble, but like, we're going to figure it out. And I think that was the thing that hurt bad when we lost Game 7 against Houston, right? Because the guys on our team didn't expect to lose. Like, for real, I don't care, the rookies or anything like that. Everybody be like, oh, they're young. Who cares? That team, when I was in New Orleans, when we felt like we should have won a championship, that was 2008. That was my 3rd year in the league. Sometimes it's better to be young, so you ain't thinking about nothing else.
I think that team, the Oklahoma City team this past year, they reflected your personality in a way. I know that maybe sounds weird, but like, that team, more than any other team I've watched you on, allowed you to be you, not just as a player, but the person you are, the leader you are. I think it was like the right mix of guys for you. Does that, am I off on that? Does that make sense?
That makes sense because we was just like, everybody was scrappy. Everybody played like with a chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? And then we had a guy like Lou Dort. You know what I mean? Like Lou, like every day it'd be something. We'd be talking to him about something with defense, but he just played hard. And then, if you got somebody that play hard, shoot the ball, Lou. Like, shoot the ball. And was it Game 7 when he went crazy?
Yeah. He like 32 or something like that in Game 7.
Did he? Well, all I remember was like Game 6 or Game 5 or 6 or something, and they was backing off of him and he wasn't shooting. And I was about to kill him. I was like, Lou, we're not going to find a better shot. And then if you got a guy like that who plays his heart out, right? He defends every single night. If we lose a game because he done missed like a bunch of open shots, I'm cool. I'm so cool off that because Bubs know, like, you got a guy that lay it on the line like that. I'm shoot the ball, man.
Tommy, did you see there was a video, it was a montage video about a week ago of Chris and all the asshole stuff he does on the court? Did you see the video on Twitter? You didn't?
No, I wish I had seen it though.
I saw it, Bubs.
You saw it, okay. Mm-hmm. So you know what video? I'm talking about.
Some random Twitter video.
I had my friend do it. There is a little bit of a disconnect, I think, and this goes into all the shit you do off the court, but like the person you are off the court and the person you are on the court are two very different things. Now, you're competitive in your own life. You're competitive at everything. Right. Everything. I mean, I played fucking Bure with you for 4 years. I know how competitive you are off the court. Hey, Chris always collects his checks. You will not
try to, at least.
Chris always gets his money. I'll tell you that right now. But like, is there a way for you to turn that off? Can you ever turn that off?
No, I can't. And I always say this is that I had a shoe that came out some years ago that was called Jekyll and Hyde, right? Like I'm alive, like I love people and all that, but when I'm on the court, like trying to win, I'm trying to win, you know what I mean? And I always say that, like my competitiveness could be like a strength, but to some people it might be like, why you don't like me? But I'm cool with that. You ain't got to go home with me at night. But I don't know. I think about us and how we just could not stand each other when we was in college. You know what I mean? That's when JJ had the dark black hair. Like,
here we go.
It was like gelled up and all this.
It's called a Caesar cut. I had a Caesar cut.
What was the first time in college you guys met?
No, I actually watched JJ play at a tournament. He was playing in the Boo Williams tournament. He was playing AAU basketball, and I was a year younger than him. And everybody was like, "Man, y'all gotta see this dude, JJ Redick. You gotta see this." And JJ was playing on one of those other courts at Hampton.
I heard of Chris, and Chris was obviously a big deal in the 2003 high school class, and was coming into Wake. We played in Cameron the first time we played Wake Forest.
Was it?
Yes, the first time. It was a Saturday afternoon game. I had 23 points. Sean Dockery put the clamps on Chris.
Right now, though, do you have the stats in front of you? Why do you know how?
The final score was 68-59.
Oh
my! No. So we play the game or whatever. No issues. I told this story on the podcast 4 years ago. We're telling it again.
You don't have to do
no
it.
Issues. No, I got to do it. So no issues. So then we play
at Wake
like a month later.
On the left,
we're the number one team in the country. I make a cut through the middle, and I try to do the little trick where you like go underneath the guy's arm and act like you're getting held, and you flare your arms or whatever. And Chris gets right in my face. He's like, "That shit ain't working, motherfucker." All this stuff, like just
Say that.
cussing me out for no reason.
Mama and Daddy, I would never say anything. No such thing.
Anyways, so he gets right in my face, and this is right in front of the Wake Forest bench. So he's now they're all standing up and they're all chirping, and I didn't slap him, but I like took my hand and I put it in his face, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of my face," like that. So I get a technical. He goes for like 30. They whoop our ass. They storm the court, whatever. That summer, we worked the Jordan camp, and it was super awkward for a couple days. I'm not gonna lie.
I forgot about
Yes, in Santa Barbara. And I went up to him in the dorms after one of the sessions one day, and I was just like, "Look, man, I got to be honest with you. Like, I actually respect you because you're such a competitor. I'm really sorry about whatever I did. Can we just move on?" The thing is, this guy fucking for 11 years didn't move on. He held it against me until we were teammates.
So listen, let me tell you what happened. JJ was this guy at Duke. JJ would run off 1,000 screens, and he'd make a three, and he running down court doing all this stuff. You know, Duke was the old smack the floor, rah 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 rah, all this. But it really got bad my sophomore year when we played at Duke, and JJ knows this story already. They started a kid, I think his name was Patrick Davidson. Is that his name?
That was his name, Patrick Davidson.
It's ridiculous that I still remember his name. They started a walk-on, right? And the kid just walked out on the court. Right? Duke is Mr. Prestigious School. They don't need any gimmicks. They got JJ Redick. They started a walk-on, Tommy. Did you hear what I said?
I heard.
They started a walk-on at Duke in this big game, right? The guy comes out there, and he's like bumping into me. Every time we take the ball out, he's, boom, getting into it. And, I mean, I have come a long way. Back then, I was a real hothead, right? And he doing all this bumping into me. He started for like a minute and 30 seconds. They took him out the game, and the whole arena went crazy. And he ran off the court and hugged Coach K. Right? To the point where 2006, so that was my sophomore year. I went in and played my rookie year, and then that next summer, Coach K was the USA coach. And that wasn't even cool at first. Because we were fresh off that. It wasn't cool like that at first. But then a real funny story was JJ stayed in college. Do you remember this story when you was in Orlando?
I know. I think I know what story you're going to tell.
Listen, this was an asshole move on me, I would say. But I just got rookie of the year, right? I just got rookie of the year. JJ comes to the league for Orlando. He's sitting on the bench. And I go to the corner, and I look back to him and say, "It's a whole lot different from college, ain't it?" Because in college, man, in the NBA now, he was riding the bench.
Oh, man. Now that I think about it, first of all, I wasn't even in uniform when you did that. I was in a suit behind the bench. They wouldn't even let me wear a uniform the first 2 months.
Wait, Chris, what was your reaction when you heard the news he was coming to the Clippers? What was like the initial split reaction?
You ain't never heard this story, Tommy. I know exactly where I was. I was in the bathroom. This is when I had my house in Bel Air Crest. I was in the bathroom. I'm on the phone with Doc. Doc tells me that we got a chance to get JJ Redick. Right? He called me to tell me that we got a chance to get JJ Redick. And I said, get him. Fast, quick, just like that. And I've always said this, is that JJ was one of the people I've hated playing against, but I knew, you know what I mean? Like Bub said, all I do is watch basketball.
Yeah.
So I know people's mentality. Like I know like who's a dog, who's a grunt. So I said, Doc, get him. So JJ gets traded to our team or whatnot. Then I don't know if it was a couple weeks later, me and my wife go to Houston so we can see Brandon Bass get married. Me and Brandon Bass got drafted together. All right. So we at the hotel or whatnot where the wedding's at, and we go down to like a restaurant or something. And then what happened? And then
I saw you walk by, and I was like, I texted you. I was like, yo, are you at Brandon's wedding?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes. I was like, me and Chelsea are at the bar. Come have a glass of wine with us. So actually, I had never, away from basketball, I'd never spent any time with Chris.
Right.
So him and Jada came to the bar. We sat there for like an hour, hour and a half, had a glass of wine, went to the wedding, and then when I first got to LA, like Chelsea and I, we didn't really know anybody or whatever. We didn't have kids then. We would go over to his house and watch Scandal every week. That's how I got to know Chris, watching Scandal in his theater room.
We watched Scandal, and then we went to dinner again, man. And it's been like this ever since.
Chris, we briefly talked about this earlier this summer while everything was happening, pre-bubble, post-bubble. You've had a lot. Look, I'm not taking away from anyone in this country right now. We've all had a lot on our plate, and you've had a lot on your plate this year. And you know, you've led our union through arguably one of the most challenging times we've had, both logistically. You know, the financial and business part of this has been really complicated in renegotiating the CBA. How exhausting has this been as you've juggled being an elite player, being a father, being a businessman, being an activist, and then having to lead our union on top of all that?
I mean, it's a lot, but it's so many different people that's involved every day that's doing the same, you know? And to tell you the truth, Michelle, like, it's been unbelievable. Like, our executive committee, all the players, all the guys that, I just called to lean on or asked to get on this call, like Kyle Lowry and Dwight Powell, like people who I don't think really know that they're involved as much. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. And not just on my plate, but like on all the players and everybody, like our families. You know, it's crazy. And that's why I'm even grateful, like, for our relationship. You know what I mean? Or just some of the guys that I have to talk to just to, you know, like, relax.
Yeah.
Trying to get some type of sense of normalcy. You know, that's why, like, I feel like every time me and you talk, Buzz, it'd be like a long conversation.
I know.
You might be like, I gotta go be with the family. And I'll be like, and we'd be like, whoo, it's like we just had like therapy.
I would describe it as that. I would actually describe it as that.
Yeah.
I think you told me like something like you actually didn't believe the bubble was going to happen until you actually got to the bubble and you were like in the bubble and you're like, oh, we actually pulled this fucking thing off.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy, man. I think I might have sent Adam a text, or he had texted me something like that before we got to the bubble. Like, all right, this is the day, like, the team show up, you know, like you remember the first wave of teams went? It was like, that was a milestone, you know, and then it was like a milestone when we had like the first scrimmage game or the preseason games. It was crazy because even all the people that worked so hard, like Byron and Kelly Flateau, like people that work for the league, and all the different people with the union, you know, Ron, you know, Ron is a real unsung hero when it comes.
Unsung, yes.
Yeah,
Ron, yes.
Everything, you know what I mean? But all the different people that make the stuff happen, right? So, like, I remember seeing the renderings of what the court would look like, right? With these, like, fake people, like, okay, this is where the guys will sit. There'll be a video board here. And, you know, I looked at it, I was like, dang, this is crazy. And I remember Dwight Powell is actually the one who came up with putting those extra chairs over there, because if we had, like, assigned seats, we needed other seats that guys could talk about game plan, right? So getting there to the bubble and then seeing it, right? And I remember seeing a couple people who I've been on like 40 Zooms with, right? But I'd never seen in person, you know? And it was like, oh my goodness, like, I feel like I know you. I do know you, but I don't know you. And so, yeah, man, it was surreal. And so while you're involved in that, you're still trying to be the best player that you can be, right? You got to be the best teammate. You got to invest real time. You know, even everything that's going on right now, there's calls that's going on every couple of days. And, you know, Carmen that works with me, who's my ace, you know, Carmen would be like, you got to do this today. I was like, not today. Not today. I got to be a teammate. You know what I mean?
Well, Chris, I was gonna ask you about this. So, one specific moment, down there at the end of August when you guys stopped playing, and you did the call with President Obama, but there was like a 48-hour window, where the games weren't happening. Like from your focus level, you're as focused as it gets, like in professional sports, in terms of locking in on the task at hand and everything like that. But all of a sudden, it's like the focus has been broken, and you literally have the whole world, outside press, everything coming down on you guys. How do you compartmentalize? Like, I'm still here to do a job, but like I also gotta like put out a fire here. You know what I mean? Like all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know. It's basically what you just said. You compartmentalize things. Like JJ like that too. You just get in the mode of like, this has to be done, right? This has to be done, and that's the thing about like having tough conversations, regardless of what it is. You got to talk about it. And I'm trying to think, Bubs, you wasn't in the bubble then, huh? No, because
we were out. We didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I really wish you was there, because you got to talk about it, and all the stuff that was going on. It's like you don't have time to not talk about it. Right? Like you got to address it. You got to address it right then and there. And you got to be like, hey, let's talk about it. Because y'all know our league. Shoot, y'all have so much to talk about at times because players just give it to you. You know what I mean? Like seriously, because social media, all this different type of stuff, and having that awareness, it was like, okay, we got to talk about this in here. Because once guys get to their rooms, telling what's going to be said, right? So if everybody can be comfortable about the decisions that are made in here, we need to come out of here with one voice.
One of the things about your position that I really don't envy, and I've never asked you this. I want to get a sense of how much thinking you have about the different tiers of players. You've been a max guy, right? I've been for most of my career like a cap space guy. We got minimum guys. We got fringe guys. We got two-way guys. We got guys on rookie contracts. And somehow you, the executive committee, Michelle, Ron, you have to look out for everyone's interests. And I would imagine that's incredibly difficult. And at times I'm sure you feel like you're getting pulled in a million different directions trying to please everybody.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I say this all the time. I don't know anybody's contract. Right? Like I don't. And I always talk about you, Bub, because you know everybody's. You know down to the cent how much somebody makes. If it's a team option or whatnot. Because you were the hoops hype connoisseur, right? Like I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how many years Book has left on his contract. I don't know. Like I don't know 8. I don't know how much. Anyway, only person I think I know is
I think he's in year 2 of a 5-year max extension.
I don't know. The only person I know is Dario because I think he signed a 3-year.
He signed a 3-year deal, yeah.
3-year, 27.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only person I know. And for me, I think being on the executive committee has been the dopest thing ever because I've been on the like EC and the union for so long, right? So I remember when it was way different, right? When I was like the only max person. So we would be on calls and it was only one perspective, right? And so now like the way the league has changed, like back then it used to be email, right? But I remember some years ago, I was like, look, we got to stop this email stuff. Everybody's text, right? So everybody responds more in the text. We got a text thread of the EC, right? So if Michelle asks us a question, she asked something today or something like that, and guys can chime in or we get on a call. It's so dope to get all the different perspectives. And I know what I'm not good at, right? So, some stuff I speak on, be like, boom, boom, we can do this. And then some of them guys like Garrett Temple, Andre Iguodala, they be knowing the percentages and all this stuff like you. You know what I mean? So I think we all complement each other really well.
Well, we're very appreciative of. I speak for all the players. We're very appreciative of everything that the executive committee and everything that the union has done in making sure we get to play some games and hopefully, I know in the bubble being very safe, and hopefully this season,
But listen, I will tell you this: one of the dopest text messages I think I've ever gotten. I actually got from Mason Plumlee, and when I get a text from a guy or something like that, because I have to be very sort of accessible. You know what I mean? Like rightfully so, because if I'm in the league and I got a question, I want to know something, then I would want to ask somebody who probably know too, right? So Mason Plumlee sent me a text, man, that was basically like, I think we was all going to have to vote on something. And he was like, look, man, I trust the executive committee on whatever, you guys decide, because you guys are on these calls and putting in all the time. So I know that you guys wouldn't make a decision, that's not in the best interest of all us players. And I called him. I was lifting in the gym with my trainer, and me and Donnie, and I stopped. I said, dang. I said, because it's crazy. I called him right away. I was like, look, man, we still going to have a call where guys can vote. But I was like, I really appreciate that. And I'm sure the guys do too, because the guys really put a lot of